to Big Mama Energy. Okay.
I am Brittany.
And I am Tia. And I know that it's been a while. We've been gone a couple weeks, maybe 3.
It's
something like
3
that.
Weeks.
But yes, big things has been happening.
Yes, so much has happened.
Sissy is officially married. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sissy.
Yes.
Let me zoom up on a ring because he did good. He did good. I don't even know if y'all can see that.
Yes.
But
okay, so we had things going on. And,
I am
1
Mrs.
week
Morris officially, okay? So that's why we have been absent.
Yes.
It was just so much going on with the wedding, as you know, so much preparing. So
how do you feel now that it's over? The wait is over, it's done. You are now officially Mrs. Morris. It's been a long time coming.
It was a long journey, yeah.
Well, you know what? Y'all got married pretty quick as far as like as an engagement.
Yes.
Like y'all wasn't engaged. Y'all was engaged for like a year.
Yes. Yep. We were engaged for a year. A little bit over a year.
A little bit over a year.
Definitely over a year.
Yeah.
Not 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
you know, some people,
yeah,
they'd be lingering. You know what I mean? So how does it feel? Because although that it hasn't, you know, been 2 years or 3 years, that 1 year seemed pretty intense, especially with planning and everything.
Y'all. It was a long journey as far as planning the wedding. That was a whole nother thing. If y'all want to see a video on that where I can kind of like break it down and we can like get into details, let us know, let me know, and I will do like a tell-all on the planning of the wedding and kind of like what to expect when you are planning a wedding. So I would definitely.
I think that would be dope. I think a lot of people would tune into that, especially, you know, the ladies that are newly engaged or even married. Maybe you know, feel like y'all want to hear some similar stories to see if your experience was the same. So
exactly.
Yes, I think that would be a good look for sure.
So we could dive into that, y'all.
But yeah, so congratulations again, Sissy. It was a beautiful day. Okay.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so you want to tell them what we got planned today to talk about?
So today we are going to be talking about age gaps when dating. Okay, we just gonna get right up into it.
How do you feel about it? Have you ever dated somebody that was older than you, younger than you? How big was those age differences? Was those age gaps extremely big?
Right.
Small? Or do you not get into it, you know?
Right. Because there is little tiny differences.
There's like, small differences.
You know how we date, like, okay, maybe somebody's a year younger than you or a couple years older than you. I don't think that's like really a big deal.
Yeah.
It's when, I feel like when you're dating somebody 5 or more years above or under you, you can start seeing them differences.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Okay.
When do you feel like you start seeing them?
Before we get into the whole topic though, we're gonna need y'all.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Because this is gonna be a good spicy topic. It's gonna be a deep one. I think this is a good one because you know, we're, you know, in our 30s at this point. We've dated. So to get to, you know, tap into our experiences with dating people that's older or younger, it's gonna be deep, so we're gonna definitely get into it.
Right.
But before we do, go ahead and subscribe
right now.
Go ahead and make sure you click that button and also click that bell so you get all our notifications anytime we drop our bomb-ass videos that you love.
Absolutely. Get into it. You know you love it here. Become part of the Big Mama tribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's fun.
Yeah, period. And follow us on the socials that will be linked below.
Absolutely.
We do have a Big Mama Energy Instagram as well.
Okay. So get into that, and we're about to get into this topic, okay?
What do you think is extreme? Like when you start noticing, I guess, the differences between you, like how many years do you think, or is it like a year, a certain amount of years? You start noticing like, oh, this person, they're definitely younger than me. Like I could tell, or this person definitely older than me. Like, oh my gosh.
So typically, I would say that I'm not really into younger guys. Typically, if I like dating, either you have to be at least, typically I would say my age, or at least 1 to 2 years younger than me. If I am going to,
if you're going to
go low, typically. I haven't dated anybody extremely younger than me, But I have dated someone or dealt with a person that was more than a couple years younger than me. Now, in my experiences with that, I can't say that it was like completely drastic, like where I was like, oh no, yeah, you really a young boy, you're super immature. Like,
it wasn't noticeable.
It wasn't really noticeable, and I think that's why I was even like interested in the beginning, because they didn't come off like super immature. Okay. So they kind of came off like with a mature personality. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay. So it wasn't really, you know, anything severe or extreme to me, right. Personally. But yeah, I've never like seriously dated somebody that was like 3-4 years younger than me. Like, I've never seriously. It was my little fling talking here and there, but nothing like extreme.
Nothing extreme.
Yeah.
I have never dated anyone super extremely younger than me. I don't recall. Probably a few years. But that's not really what I was into. I usually was into dating somebody if it was like a big age gap. I'm sorry, big age gap. It was somebody older rather than younger. That's just with my experiences. Younger people weren't for me. If they were like, especially if they were like 5 years, more than 5 years younger, I just can't do it. I can do a couple years younger, and that was like pretty much it. Okay. From my experience.
So you never seriously dated somebody or even talked to anybody that was like
years younger than me? No, not that I can recall at all. None of the youngsters, maybe like a couple years. Okay. But no, I wasn't really the immaturity that I found with people that was younger than me. I just couldn't do it. Not to say older people not immature too, but the younger ones it just wasn't. Right. It wasn't given for me.
Yeah, so I definitely agree on that. Like, the top might have been about 4 years younger max, kinda. Now, have I had situations where like I might have gave somebody my number that was younger and I didn't know that they were that much younger than me? Absolutely. Right. I've been attracted to people that was younger, but I didn't know, because let's be clear, some of y'all young boys, even young women, young ladies, y'all be looking older.
They do be looking older,
and some of y'all do be capping.
Right.
So yeah, it is what it is. I actually gave somebody my number working at one of my current jobs, and when he said how old he was, and I was like, 23? No, it's gonna be a no for me. It's just like at that point. No,
hold on, he was 23 recently?
He was 23. He told me he was 23, and I was like, but I get hit on by a lot of younger people too, because they think that I'm their age. Like, they think that I'm 23, 25 years old, and I'm not, you know. I'll be 32 at the end of the year, so they just think that I look
like a young boy.
Like a young boy. And let's be clear, the older people nowadays, like 30 years old, even to 40, we are a little bit more youthful than, you know, the generations before us. Right. So that makes a difference as well. We're kind of in tune and kind of hip to an extent. Because, like I said, to an extent, it's still some things that these young boys be talking about, and I have no clue what they're talking about. Like, excuse me.
Like, you missed me.
Yeah, Google is my best friend. I'm like, what does this mean?
And I also feel like social media keeps you up on a lot of shit.
That is true.
Like, our parents did not have social media.
That's true.
So they definitely, when they got into their 30s and stuff, they was getting up there. They didn't have, like, a lot of stuff to keep them current on the youngster, you know, all the lingo, all the youth and all that, the lingo and what they doing and what they listening to. Like, it was much harder, I feel like.
That definitely plays a big part into it. Yeah, for sure.
Social media keep your grandparents young. Some people grandparents on Facebook and knowing about certain things. Yeah, so it's like, it's a different thing, different day and age, I guess.
Definitely. So, on the flip side, I know you kind of got into older, you know, you're typically one to date older than younger.
Right, I would have preferred if it was younger, maybe a year or so, whatever. Like my husband is a year younger than me. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
But yeah, I tended to dip and dab with people who were older. I don't know. It was something about a mature man or person. You know what I mean? Just something about that. You think that they're mature, but it was something about that. I don't know. I kind of like that. I felt like more so than think somebody younger. I wanted you to be able to like teach me something more. You know what I mean? I don't know. And maybe it's because I was raised by my grandparents. I don't know. I liked older men typically.
Okay. I definitely would have to say for sure. I definitely am attracted to older men. But typically the most people that I've talked to have been my age, slightly older. I have talked to people that's been, I'm not gonna say extremely older, but like kinda.
Definitely.
The oldest person that I probably have talked to, will probably, if I'm 32, will probably be like 49.
49, okay.
I think so.
Pushing 50.
Pushing 50 years old. Don't look it. Don't look it. But yeah, pushing about 50 years old.
Okay.
I would say probably like 47, 49.
And how was your experience talking to that person? Do you feel like it was like a normal thing? Like they were just like as if you were talking to somebody around your age? Or did you like notice that age gap?
Honestly, you can notice the age gap just because like the way they dress, even how they talk, like it's different, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if I was dating somebody like around my age or a little slightly younger, like the way they throw something together is going to be completely different from the way this grown man is going to throw something, you know, together. How people handle situations is going to be different. How they communicate is going to be slightly different. Now, I'm not saying that 49-year-olds is not immature, because there are some that's very immature. There were certain things about him that I'm like, but I'm just a different type of person. Like, you know what I mean? You do some shit and I'm like, I don't care what your age is. It's like, because let's be clear, there are some younger individuals out there that are a little bit more mature for their age, and then there are some older people that are immature. So it
really depends on the person. Like, you never know what you're gonna get until you talk to them and you're like, oh, okay. The person I was talking to, a couple people, the one guy I was talking to when I was much younger, I was like maybe 19, 20, right? This guy had to be well into his 30s. Like, this nigga probably was like 38. Okay. And like, he was an old head. Like, and I don't know, like he reminded me like he was like kind of like a Jay-Z. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he dressed kind of like him at the time. Like, you know, and he kind of carried himself like that. It was like, I knew he was older, I could tell, but he wasn't like too old where he was like out of the loop or whatever. And now that I think about it, I'm like, he wasn't even that old. You know what I mean? He wasn't old, but to me, my little 19-year-old, 20 stuff, I was like, he's old. Like, exactly. But I like old head. I was like, okay. You know, it was just something about him. Like, he always, you know, had some stuff planned for us to do, whatever the case. Like, it was like spur of the moment type shit. And I was like, all right. But now, when I like look at it at my big age that I am now, I'm like, this nigga was a creep. Yeah. Because I was 19, 20. He wanted a little young John to kind of just do whatever. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like he just wanted a young nigga. Like, you know, and now that I look at it, because I'm like, why you wasn't married? You know, why wasn't you with somebody at that age? Like, what was you doing? Why was you talking to me? Like, I just don't understand. Like,
it's so funny because now that like you bring that up and then you're thinking about situations, I've been in situations where it's like I was young at the time and they were young too, but like they were older than me. Like, I had a situation where I probably was about 18, 19, around that age, and at the time this guy was 27.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like that big of a difference. But then, like, later on, now at my age,
it is a big difference.
He's like, I was a whole, like, he was like, I don't like the fact, like, I think at this time, maybe, like, we reconnected, like, linked up on Facebook, and I think I might have just turned 30. And he was like, I don't like that you just turned 30 years old.
Right.
Like
he looking at himself like,
yeah.
When the hell was I talking to you? Right.
Right. Exactly. You was on some shit. Like, honestly. And it's like, at the time, it's not that big of a deal. Or you're not really thinking about it. Like, okay, this person is really, like, got some years on me.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, I guess. Like, you know. And definitely, you know, when you're talking about that maturity levels, like sometimes people, you really forget, dang, you really that old? Like, I feel like if it wasn't for my maturity and how I carry myself, a lot of people really wouldn't be able to tell that I'm older, you know, in age than what they might have thought.
Yeah, from just looking.
Exactly, from just looking.
It just makes you, because I'm like, me at this age, even though I was single, I would never talk to a 19, 20-year-old.
Right.
Because what are we talking about?
Exactly.
Like, what do you have? Like, and I don't know if that's just, I know some people say it's different, like men, women, whatever. No. What are we talking about? I don't know nothing. I can't relate. I mean, granted, it would have to take a special, it would have to take a special young person. Like, you would have had to been beyond your ears. Like, beyond your years. I can't talk to that. Beyond your years. Like, you would have been here before.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about? We don't have nothing in common.
Right.
You know, half the shit I know, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
So I've actually had a situation where I was, at the time, I think I was 18, and I met this guy, and I remember this. I was on the phone. I remember this like it was yesterday. So I was on the phone talking to my friend, a white boy or whatever. And I'm talking on the phone with him, and I was about to walk to the little playground there in my house and just bust it up with him, whatever. Right. So as I'm walking or whatever, this guy pulls over in the car, and he looks good. I'm talking about so fine. I'm like, I'm gonna call you back.
You like, see you later.
Right, no, for real. So when I tell you this guy was so fine, so attractive. His muscles, his body just, and then he had like them tribal tattoos. Like, he just looked so good. Very healthy looking. He looked, he was good looking. So we was talking and everything, and he told me he was in his 20s. Okay. Probably mid 20s to late 20s, something like that. And like we said, even then, that was a reach for an 18-year-old, but not even thinking about it, boom, boom, boom. So we're talking or whatever, we exchanged numbers. After a couple of days, whatever, I found out that he lives close by to me. Okay. So it was a night, it was raining or whatever. He asked me, he was like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm nothing, I'm chilling right now. He like, oh, all right, I just ordered some food. I'm watching movies. He was like, would you like to come over? Okay. So I come. Soon as I got to his house, I just knew. I said, I let the night progress, but in the middle of it, I just asked him, I said, well, started asking him questions. Like, you got kids? He had kids. He started saying like the ages of his kids, and it just didn't add up. Like, at the time, he said his oldest child was like 16 or about to be 16.
And you said you was 25.
And you said you're in your 20s. Yeah, you're like your mid 20s. So I'm not dumb at all. Like, my wheels are always turning. So the reason that he even sparked the questions of, do you have kids? How old are your kids? Is because when I went to his home, it looked like a home. Like, it did not look like no bachelor pad. It don't look like no 20. Exactly. It had a woman's touch. And I was like, a woman lived here.
Okay, somebody put this together for me.
And this is Tia at 18. This is just how I think. I was like, no, something ain't right. So I just started answering questions. Then it come to find out that his oldest daughter was 16. I'm like, make it make sense. Yeah. So that's when he was forced to tell me his real age. So he lied. He was not 20 anything. At that time, I believe he was probably 37. 37, 38. And I made this whole big deal, and I told him, I'm like, how about what if I wasn't 18 and I lied to you? 14. You get what I'm saying? Like, would it be okay? So let's be clear that niggas do be out here lying about their age.
They really do.
So you definitely want to be careful with that, because that definitely happened to me. And now that I am, you know, 32, well, I'll be 32, I actually ran into him one day, and he kind of like was trying to talk to me again, and it's like, I'm never talking to you. Like, you lied about your. He will not. Like,
let's try this again. Now that you know, older.
But no, like, the fact that you lied about your age is weird. Because who's to say that you're still not meeting younger women lying about your age? Like,
exactly.
So yeah. So I've definitely had that situation before where, you know, the guy may look good as hell and look like they're a little youthful, but they're a little old on the edge. Just like, look at me. Like, I look like I'm 20 something and I'm not.
Right.
So yeah, I've definitely been on that situation as well. Like, a guy lying.
Women be lying about the age too.
Have you ever lied about your age?
There's no need to. I feel like it is what it is. Like, first of all, I look good, so no, I'm not about to lie to you about my age. For what? You know, I feel like, I don't know, maybe some women are like insecure about their age, or I know of a different generation, the older one, they used to be like, oh, you never ask a woman's age. I don't feel like they. 33. Like, if you ask me, I'll tell you. Like, and people say, oh, you don't look like you're 33. Even though I don't know what that looks like.
Exactly.
Or what it's supposed to look like, whatever.
True.
But, you know, black don't crack. But yeah, women be lying about their age too, because maybe they're insecure about that. I don't know. But they be lying too, to men and stuff.
You know what? When I was younger, everybody assumed that I was older, only because
it's probably maturity.
My maturity, how I act. I was like the mother of the group, but I was the youngest. So it's like, everybody just assumed that I was older. So when they, you know, found out my age, they'd be like, oh, okay. And it's just so funny how they assumed that I was older then just because of my maturity. But now they just assume that I am younger.
But let's look at the case now. These little girls look grown now.
That's true.
If you take a look at me, when I was back in the day, when I was 14, 15, 16, I looked my age, very much so. Weave, little ponytail, maybe. These girls be having full weaves, full lace fronts, and they be like 16 years old, 15 years old.
Face
beat to the guys.
Okay.
I never wore makeup until I was maybe 18 years old. My sister did my makeup for me, and I didn't even like it then. I was like, oh my god, I look different, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't really get into makeup until after I had my daughter at 25. So it was like, I look like a young person, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But nowadays, I'm looking at these girls on these the internet, and then girls, you know, when I see them in person, come from school, and I'm just like, how old is she?
Right.
She look grown.
Yeah.
Like, what? This shit is really crazy.
It's different. This generation is completely different. Although, you know,
the guys too, the little boy, they tall.
Yeah, very much so tall.
I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
What is in the water?
No, definitely, what is in the water? And I will say that recently, because like I said, I normally am not attracted to younger guys, but I was recently attracted to a younger guy.
How old? R. Shelly in this bitch. Alright, we ain't gonna incriminate nobody. We not incriminating nobody.
Listen,
alright, I got you.
I didn't do anything with this man. Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
But he was attractive to
but
you.
He is. I mean, he's legal. Let's be clear. Let's put it out there. He is legal. He is of age. Okay. He's just younger, and I'm typically not attracted to younger. I wouldn't even say I'm not attracted, because if you're handsome, whatever. But
please excuse him.
I wanted to be a part of the conversation so bad. But yeah, like I said, attractive, yes. Now, will I date them? No. But
you're attractive. I mean, if somebody's
attractive, you're attractive. If you're handsome, you're pretty, whatever the case may be.
So how is he, like a teenager?
No, he's not a teenager. He's
18 or 19.
No, he's 22 actually.
Oh, okay. Well, he was 22.
Yeah, at the time he was 21. He's 22 now.
Okay.
But yeah, He's just attractive. Yeah. That's it. I mean,
Stella got a group back?
No, I didn't do anything with that young man, but I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised because typically, because this is one of those things like, what do we have in common? But it's like you said, you know, the internet keeps us so youthful. We're so much different, like I said, from the 30-year-olds that our parents were.
We ain't
things like that. We're not the
year-olds
same.
At all. I feel like they
not.
was way more mature than us. Like,
Absolutely.
let's be clear.
We're fucking childish.
Growing up, like, I'm like, this is crazy. I saw that Jamie Foxx picture, and I'm like, that ain't us. He looks
at
stressed.
all.
He looks
Terrible, honestly. And just like back in the day, Monica, 15 years old, she looked like she was about 35.
She was 35 with them shoes, child.
Okay, and that cut, like, she looks more youthful now.
She does.
And she's what, almost 50?
Oh wow, I didn't know.
40,
So
40 something. She's up there in age. Okay. I might be tripping when talking about 50. I don't know
how old Monica is.
Monica's up there in age though. I think she might be 40.
Her
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looks good. She looks younger than what she did in that video.
Right.
And she was 15 years old. So that's crazy. So it's definitely a big difference in the generations nowadays and from back then. So it's gonna be a little different.
Right.
I think it's easier, I guess, for us to relate to somebody a little younger, but at the same time we have our differences as well still. Yeah, you can tell the difference, unless like you said you're dealing with somebody that's a little bit more mature. But yeah, dealing with somebody older is not always going to be, oh, this person is mature, because sometimes they're childish as fuck too.
And it depends on, like anything, it depends on what they're looking for. Exactly. Like some people that are older and they're looking to get in a committed relationship, others are just looking to thought and bop their days out.
Yes.
And that was one situation I started dealing with this older man, and I thought he was like, he put that he was looking for love and shit. Okay. He was lying. He was looking into thought and bop.
Right.
And that's just pretty much, I feel like, what he was using to reel these young bitches in. Okay. Like, oh yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic, blah blah blah. Still single, still thought and bopping to this day. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you just gotta be careful, because older people that are wiser, whatever, they can manipulate you as well. Right. So you just have to be careful. You gotta be smart and keep your head on swivel. Keep your wits about you.
That is true too. Like, these motherfuckers be 30 years old is out here. Yes, let's be clear. Like, so.
And they want to thought about their days out, and that's your business, but no.
And keep you nearby on the tuck.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
Like, oh yeah, just keep you hopefully wishing that y'all want be in a relationship one day or it's gonna go to some type of next level, and no.
Yeah. Not at all. But yeah, big, do you feel like big, how big of a gap is too big, like as far as age?
I feel like if you I couldn't take you seriously. I couldn't take you seriously if you was in your 50s. I feel like, I don't know. It depends on, because I feel like we're just at so different times. Like I want to age with you and grow old with you. Right. And like you gonna go through a lot of that shit before me. Yeah. And it's gonna be like, damn, like, you know what I mean? You about to go to nursing home and I'm still you know what I mean? So that's why I never wanted to be so much of a age gap. But again, like, I don't know, like, I just always envision myself growing old with somebody. Like, I couldn't go over 50. If you was in your 40s, okay, cool, that was fine. But when you're in 50s and all that, like, no. It need to make sense. Make it make sense. I'm not Anna Nicole, I mean, and I'm not knocking whoever has an age gap relationship, because it's a lot. I've been watching the whole show. I forget what it was on, but where it was like age gap relationships, and I was like, they was age gaps. I'm talking about 20 years old, like 20 years in between these people, and I was like, oh wow, like, this is taboo.
And it's crazy because it's like, to them, it works for them.
Yeah, it works for them.
But, to each his own.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like you said, at a point, it's like you didn't lived your whole life.
Right.
And I'm just starting to really begin to, you know, to get into the swing of this whole life thing. Yes. So it's like, yeah, I want to grow old with someone. I don't want somebody to already be beating me to the finish line.
Right.
And then, you know.
And what if you want kids? Can this person have kids?
Exactly. Are you? Like, do you already have 15? Like, you know,
yeah, I know men, they stuff work for a while after, like, you know. But it's like, if you're a young man dating an older woman, like, can she still have babies? Can she
right.
If you don't have none, like, that's just, you know, topics that you discuss. Even if it's a man, like, is he gonna be able to keep up with your baby, running around with your 1-year-old, and he's 52? Like, what's, you know what I mean? This is things that need to be discussed. I mean, I know it's relationships that are out there with those huge gaps, but it's like, with me, I wanted to grow. I always wanted to grow with my person. And
then, like, with those huge gaps, like, sexual drive, like, that could be a difference as well. Like, you know what I mean?
You still about to knock it out the frame or what? Or you gonna need a hip replacement out this bitch? Like, what's really going on?
That's what I'm saying, because that could be an issue or concern. Yeah.
For sure. And this lady, you know, as you get older, things just ain't the same. I know they got, like, different things that you can help, you know, mood and shit, different things, but it's just like, you gotta be realistic, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta be realistic.
You definitely gotta be realistic. And some people, this they think, like, this is their twist. All they do is talk to old heads, or all they do is talk to younger people. Like, that's just they thing. Me, it's like, I'm not really here or there. Like, I like older people, but 50 is pushing it. Like I said, that's the oldest that I've ever dealt with. And it's nothing serious. Like, I've never seriously dealt with somebody that was that much older than me.
Okay. Yeah, I can, like, say the same. It was nice, it was fun, but it wasn't ever like a serious relationship. My serious relationships, they was all around my age.
Yeah,
either
pretty
it was
much.
Like a couple years younger or older, like, but it was all around that my age. It wasn't, you know, no crazy difference. So that's just from, you know, my experiences. But I do be seeing them age gap couples, and I just be like, I wonder how that works. Apparently it's working if y'all together.
For them,
do your thing. And I'm, you know, I would never knock nobody. That's your business. Whatever you want to do. Because there's some cougars out here that just love them a young bull. I know when that show I was watching, Age Gap, whatever it is, I don't know what channel it was on, but the young lady, or the older lady said, once her husband passed away, she said, oh, I'm only going to date men now, younger men now. Because I've already, you know, had my life partner. He passed away. And, you know, I'm about to be a cougar to the day I die. She was, I'm dating these young boys. And I was like, oh, hey, ma'am. And she was like, my sex drive is high. She was like, I could definitely handle them and they can handle me. And, like, you know, and I feel like, I think her family didn't approve. But she said she don't give a fuck. Like, she was like, I'm dating these young men. And it is what it is.
And let's be clear. There is a difference between a cougar and a sugar mama. Okay?
Yeah.
A cougar is gonna fuck the shit out of you.
I'm crazy.
A sugar mama, she gonna
take care of you.
And
it might have been a little bit of both. You know what I mean? It might have been a little bit of both.
She gonna give you some sugar and she gonna give you the PS5, whatever you need.
Because that young boy definitely moved in with her. So I feel like she was sugar mama too. But he was young as shit. He was on her ass. I was like, oh wow. So I don't know, y'all.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can't say that I'm a cougar.
No.
I can't say that I am. Or a sugar mama, for that matter. Looking for a sugar daddy? Possibly. It's different.
I'm not teaching you shit. You better learn on your own. I'm not about to teach you nothing.
Yeah. But it's funny because a lot of men, they like being with older women. Like younger guys, they think that that's the thing. I feel like that's all men,
especially when she's attractive
at a point.
As an attractive older woman, they like, oh my god, like this lady, or they used to be like, oh, I was attracted to my teacher when I was younger, and blah blah blah. Like, men do, they like sexy older women. I'll say, like, to them.
I've never
for sure
had a guy come at me that was younger, because now I definitely ask them, even if they might look like they might be a little older, I definitely ask them, like, how old are you? Or if I feel like you're a little younger, I'll be like, how old do you think I am? and then they say the age that they think I am, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not your age.
Right.
And when they find out how old I am, it's like they even come at me even more because they like, oh, bad, because I don't like girls my age. I like them child.
They secretly be wanting older people. I think that's just in the nature. Like when I was young, I was like, I want an older guy. Like, you know what I mean? It's just you think you're missing out on something, or you think it's better,
right?
Because they're older. Like
exactly,
they're older. You know,
they know more.
They know more.
Things like that. And some of the in some instances, in some cases, yes, that is very true.
Yeah.
But some cases, it's not. Yeah.
So it just depends.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like anybody could teach you something. And it could be, it might not be something that I would say, all right, this is something that I would take with me. Some people teach you things not to do. You know what I mean? Like, so you just gotta look at everything as a lesson, because really that's really
it's all a lesson. It don't even matter. Whoever you dealing with, they done taught you something.
They definitely just taught you something.
You taught them something. So
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I haven't really dated like older guys like that, and younger guys like that.
I've had a few older ones.
A few more older for sure than
I've had
younger
ones.
But
It's
seriously,
the same if you ask me, but the same.
Yeah.
Just they might like to do a little different things. I don't know. It was different in different departments. Let me be very clear. A little different. I found when dating those two older men, it was just different as far as like sexual things.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
They come from a different age, a different time, and you can tell. You can really tell. It was just a little different.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I definitely would say that too, because you figure they come from a time where they really cater to their women and their needs and like your body, like really getting to know it. Whereas though younger guys may not give a fuck. They like wham bam thingy man type of situation.
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
Some of them, and I mean not all younger guys, because some younger guys they hit to that. But you know what it is? It depends on
your always.
Yes. It depends on the younger guys always, like what they taught them, because some people learn from their grandparents.
Right.
Exactly. You know, so it depends on. But if you didn't have nobody to teach you nothing, and you're a young man, I could tell. Like you could really tell. You'd be like, okay, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You know, whereas the older person might take their time, or somebody who has been schooled in the game. And you will also tell a younger person who was taught to nothing but older women, because they gonna be focused on pleasing you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So there's that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yes, drop those comments. Let us know what do you guys think? Like, how do you feel about age gaps, age differences? Do you feel that age is nothing but a number? Like, can you look past that? Or, you know, is it like, no, I'm sticking to my age, that's it, maybe give us a couple years, that's it, that's all? Are you a cougar?
Right, let us know.
Do you like them young? Do you like them young tenders? Okay? Young tenderonis. Let us know what you think about this topic. How do you feel? But yeah. Okay. We also still have our email address, so you definitely want to hit us up at our email. energy@gmail.com. Okay. Send those topics in. Let us know what you want to talk about. If you want to be discreet on your topics, if you want to send in things, go ahead, send that in to us, and we will reveal it anonymously. I'm sorry.
I know, today is the day.
Today is just not a day. But, you know, but yeah, definitely hit us up at our email and send those topics in. We love to get this content out to you guys. But yeah. Until then, always remember to like,
share,
comment,
and subscribe.
Bye, guys.